Far too many business owners and entrepreneurs focus on building a business and not a brand. On this Branding Bites podcast, I dish out bite-sized strategies to keep your personal brand front and center to make a more significant impact and see bigger results in your business. Hey there, it's Kristin Korn, and you're listening to the Branding Bites podcast, episode 8. How to position yourself as an expert in your field while staying authentic. So in today's world of digital marketing and online sales, one thing to understand from the beginning is that you're quote unquote selling so much more than just your product or service on a daily basis. Because every day, readers of your original content are paying attention to the experience that your brand gives them and the emotions that you invoke within them. So what this means is that you are not selling your product or service or opportunity. You're in reality selling yourself, your image, and your reputation, which in short is your personal brand. You sell your personal brand every time you show up online. So if you follow my Stay in Your Lane brand method, you know I teach principles based on the start, strengthen, and scale phases of your brand and business. And as you move from that start phase of your business into the strengthen stage, one of the most effective ways to grow your business and audience of potential customers, what we all want, right? Grow that audience, is by becoming a respected authority or having an expert position in your industry. So I wanted you to take a few seconds. So Think about those in different industries that you follow and consider an expert. They could be people in your current company or field of work. They could be authors of books you read, podcasts you listen to. They could be people who teach you new things. They could simply be people you just find inspirational. Think about those people. You most likely think highly of these individuals for giving out compelling, valuable, and free complimentary advice that helps you witness transformations and achievements in your life and your business. So in my branding world, you respect these individuals because they consistently share their authentic brand story. Yes, their brand story. And a brand story includes things like your why, or what encouraged you to get started in your business, or your struggles and the solution to those struggles. All this content should be positioning you as a thought leader and include aspirational elements. All right, so I've seen people do this brand story very well, and then I've seen people do this very poorly, like not even use a brand story and still call themselves authority. So being in the direct sales industry for several years now, I've seen so many people claim themselves as an expert because they have reached a certain title rank in a company, or they give themselves that, hey, I'm a top leader title simply because they've just been in the company longer than somebody else. But most times, they've never earned that authority or expert position by any value that they've actually offered to their audience or their teams. So while positioning yourself with authority in your industry is a must, it also needs to be done with humility, transparency, and purpose. The brand story. You cannot just show up one day and proclaim yourself as a go-to strategist or company leader or top consultant unless you're helping other people transform, get from A to B in some way or another. The same goes for putting others up on a pedestal before they're worthy. So just make sure they are offering valuable and worthwhile information to you that helps you in, like I said, your life and or your business. All right, so in order for you to position yourself as an expert in your field, you must tell your authentic brand story over and over and over again. And how you tell your story will go on to define the way in which you emotionally connect with your audience. So yes, like your goal should be to relate to your niche audience on their level, but it goes beyond that. So as you instill confidence in the results that you can deliver for your audience with your product, service, opportunity, make sure your niche audience knows your authentic brand story. Make sure they know you've been through their exact problems before and that you have the solution that they need. A brand story describes the sequence of events that sparked your business's origin, how it got started, and proves how that tale still drives your purpose today. So think of it like maybe your favorite book or a movie character. So if you can develop like that compelling brand story, your audience will remember who you are. They're going to develop empathy for you and ultimately care about you, and their trust with you is going to increase. So you want to very intentionally craft your brand story in the way that reinforces confidence in your industry expertise. So your expert positioning in your industry. So let me share with you my personal brand story. All right. A few years into my direct sales business, I was becoming frustrated with the copy and paste marketing tactics reinforced throughout our industry. As a creative, I knew there had to be other ways to connect with my audience than with company photos and sales captions. If I was sick and tired of seeing the same images and promotions in my timeline, I knew my readers had to feel the same way. As I started to change the way I created original content by sharing my authentic journey, personal photos, and giving my audience a behind-the-scenes look into my business, other business owners wanted to learn how to do the same. Today, I've built a branding business built on purpose and authenticity and teach other entrepreneurs how to approach online marketing in a fresh, confident, and strategic way. Okay, so one thing I stress in all of my content is authentic storytelling. You can see that right there in my brand story. Every time I refer to my own business journey, I'm going to tell my brand's real story. The struggles, the conflict, the way it was, and then the solution. It's not going to be, this is where I was, and this is where I am. It's not, I'm missing that. It's not going to be a highlight reel. People need to know, how do you do the transformation, right? They want to know the ugly, want to know the good. They want to know how you got back up again. And many of my readers have expressed their gratitude in the fact that I am real. Like, I believe this is the one aspect of my brand that sets me apart from other people, maybe in branding. So every time you share content, the details in your story will build the most trust with your audience. Not just the good details, the bad ones too. So it's crucial you share the adversity your business has faced and how you're working to overcome it, or the lessons you learned by overcoming it. In the end, how to position yourself as an expert in your field while staying authentic is to tell your brand story over and over and over again. Because what people relate to and get inspired by, it isn't just the endless success that you're having. It's the jagged roadway of pursuing a goal, going back down, missing that goal, and then ultimately finding a path towards what success looks like for him or her. So, allow people to relate to your drama and emotional journey in order to find inspiration from you as an expert in your field. All right, purpose-driven CEOs, until next time, keep putting purpose behind your brand, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Branding Bites podcast. I'd love to hear from you, so hop on over to Instagram at StayInYourLaneBrand and drop a comment. And if you're feeling extra gracious, please leave a review wherever you caught this podcast. You can dive into the show notes for this episode and all episodes at brandingbitespodcast.com. And if you love this podcast, please share it with a friend. Thanks for tuning in.